California, but like, how much are we talking about here? What's the minimum? What go
Yeah, I
ahead,
was gonna
Tiffany.
say at the federal level, we've been following the guidelines of Dr. William Dougherty, who's an economist who formerly taught at Duke. I believe he's now at Howard University. His goal was to close the racial wealth gap, and he said it would take roughly 14 trillion. Of course, he said that should be spread out over 10 years. And that was to prevent inflation. So that's sort of like in the ballpark of where we're looking. At the state level, the economists from the task force estimated that the state of California plundered roughly 800 billion from the descendants. And I guess that's the number that should be restored. So at the national level, it would be, like I said, roughly 14 trillion. At the state level, it was revealed that that's how much we lost through all the harms.
Does anyone want to add to that?
Jump on in, Tim. Feel free. I just want to say Tiffany's spot on. It's interesting. Um, so it's interesting, and so Tiffany I think did a great job of splitting hairs here a little bit too, because there's the question of how much is owed, and then there's the question of how much is going to be paid, right? And we make the case that as much as owed needs to be paid, right? Or as much as owed plus some interest needs to be paid. Um, so that's the position that we've taken. But I think Tiffany's absolutely right. I actually wanted to maybe I wait for this. I want to also talk about how this is paid for too, right? So how do you pay for a 800 billion, $1 trillion, bill? And how does the federal government pay the 14, 15, or so trillion or plus, at minimum? And I've heard numbers I've heard numbers I've never heard before. Okay. And so, but just to say a quick word on this, we've talked about a bunch of different ways to pay for this too. One, California, specifically at the state level, we could use our state reserves. We could use our state surpluses. We could move money around it from our general fund. There's a lot of things that we're spending money on right now that we could be redirecting toward this. Um, we could redirect some specific taxes that are collected right now toward this without raising anyone's taxes and without doing any new taxes. I mean, we could raise money in the bond markets. California regularly issues bonds to support projects for this, that, the third.